I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Welcome to Accidentally Casual, a podcast that was originally created for Mass Effect fans that casually went into a conversation about just games in general that is now about to just talk about Mass Effect because of the Legendary Edition that just came out.
We actually have content!
Well, not just that, but, you know, it's actually, like, really exciting and stuff. It's very topical. So it's like, hey, kind of funny how after we kind of stopped doing specifically, like, Mass Effect, BioWare
Suddenly
kind of
we have
stuff,
Mass
and we're
Effect shit to talk
kind
about.
of do more casual. Yeah, now this comes out.
Fun fact, the Legendary Edition topped the UK charts and beat out Resident Evil Village, which is also great. So I recommend that if you haven't played that yet. It has one of the most...
It was also...
Yeah, sorry, you finished.
It was also one of the top sales on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I think as well.
Yes.
Damn.
But that was not Scott. That was Seeker. And then on the opposite side of Seeker, next to her, is Scott.
Hi.
And so yeah, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition has come out, finally. How long has that thing been rumored in the Mass Effect community?
It's just been one of those no-brainer things that EA could have done for years now.
I was about to say, remember...
It's free goodwill, just sat there. You could do it any time. Now do Dragon Age. EA, just saying, do Dragon Age now.
There have been talks...
Would you want them to do Dragon Age, though? Like, I mean, with Mass Effect...
Excuse me?
No, hold on. Now... Like, Mass Effect trilogy, Effect is, as far as my understanding is, that Mass Effect is a trilogy. That it is like a 3-story thing. That the Dragon Age, that the stories are more individual.
Yes, they connect more than people give them credit for.
Okay.
Yeah, they still have decisions that feed into the world state, not to mention that at this point we have the games are scattered between multiple generations, and I deserve to see Alistair and Zevran in high definition. Damn it! and Morrigan because I love Morrigan. But
another extremely well-researched question is: do the Dragon Age games? Do the choices lead into other games?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't.
They created the Dragon Age Keep, which was a online thing. That's how to the point it's gotten that they had to develop, before Dragon Age Inquisition came out, this thing called the Dragon Age Keep, which was an online thing that would track your decisions across world states. And also, we're about to have Dragon Age 4 turn up, and it's going to be like, well, I don't know, I'm sure they have a solution for what... of how they're going to incorporate all the decisions from your previous world, but
I just wouldn't know if they would do like all of the Dragon Age games, because like you couldn't just really remaster Mass Effect 1. You would kind of have to do the trilogy. I'm
not saying they should. I'm saying they should just do a similar thing for the Dragon Age games, because they could just do the Dragon Age collection or something, and it's just like
Okay.
It's all the Dragon Age titles. It just happens to be,
Yeah, I definitely think the Dragon Age games definitely need a remaster for sure. I think one of the biggest issues they're going to run into is you have Dragon Age 1 and 2, which are built on the same engine, though are very mechanically different from each other. They play very differently. Far more than whatever we see in the Mass Effect trilogy. You can make... you can make Mass Effect 1 feel like it's very similar to Mass Effect 2 and 3 pretty easily. And the Legendary Edition kind of proves that point. Fuck, you can't do that with Dragon Age. They are kind of so
wildly different.
Yeah, gameplay-wise, they're so different gameplay-wise, so that would make it hard. Now, I think one of the biggest obstacles is 1 and 2 are built on the same engine. 3 is built on Frostbite. Which, in my opinion, I still think Dragon Age Inquisition could use a remaster, because some of those animations are
I mean, you can always make it
rough.
prettier.
Yeah, but some of those animations are just rough. And
Isn't Inquisition available, though, on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
And PS?
It is.
It is.
I feel weird about remasters that are on the same generation.
The Last of Us is getting a fucking remaster.
Yeah, and I feel weird about that.
You can go play that now with no difficulty.
Yeah, I don't think The Last of Us should be getting a remaster.
No, oh yes, it's just free money. But like, yeah, just please EA, just fucking make it. And considering this year they are skipping E3 in favor of an EA Play, so if they don't announce Dragon Age content, I will cry.
Well, they haven't been doing E3 for years.
I think
they've just always had an.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
they've
just saying.
just always had E3 and EA Play happen at the same time.
Do you know why? Do you know why I know this?
Why?
Do you know why I was looking it up?
Why?
Because you're going to it?
Because I was like, ooh, well, besides the fact that I'm a big old nerd and for some reason this matters to me, but I was like, ooh, are Sega going to E3? Because if Sega are going to E3, that means they're announcing shit, and Sega owns Atlas, which makes the Persona games. So ding, 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 ding. That's my Persona mention for the video. I managed to work it even into the
Isn't
Mass
there a
Effect one,
rumor
so
that
bully
Microsoft
for
is
me.
going to buy Sega?
No.
Oh shit!
No, the
You know
rumor
why I
doesn't
don't want that to happen?
exist?
Because Sega leaves Atlas alone. They're just like, you do shit, and apparently they were very excited that they did a Steam port of Persona 4 Golden that was way more successful than they thought it was going to be. So now apparently they're strongly looking into ports from the series that they just didn't think was going to make them any money, and they're just like, oh, apparently Persona fans will fork out for fucking anything. So yes, apparently they're strongly looking into porting the other games, which is good because it means yay.
But just think, if Microsoft does get Sega, then all the Persona games, as well as all the other Sega games, can be added to Game Pass. Boom. There we go.
It
So,
is Game
spoiler for
Adding
Mass Effect
Game Pass.
Legendary Edition.
Adding Game-
Jenkins doesn't survive in this one. You can't get him to survive.
God
I was
damn.
hoping, but you can't.
God damn it, Tucker! This is how we get boycotted.
Venezia is still introduced boobs and butt first, which I was like, really, guys?
I mean, when she's walking in, yes, but she's shown with her boobs,
Yes.
it's her head as well. Like, it's not like just boobs and then going up to her head.
Tucker,
Yes.
go back and watch the cutscene. It's her butt first.
Yeah, when she's
and
walking
then
in.
it's the camera is sort of focused around her chest area. She does a motion, and then the camera pulls away a bit.
Well, her chest is center of the
chest
screen,
first.
but I don't.
And not to mention, like, her costume design definitely promotes her assets, shall we say?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
huge
But I'm saying that there
flag.
doesn't look to be a camera change. I didn't see a pan up. I saw the camera stay focused on.
It's identical to what it was in the original one, but it seems so...
Because I was also looking
I
at
know, it's just a thing I was hoping for.
Miranda's scenes. I was paying a lot of attention with those, and like, you don't see her butt in any of the scenes really, and the times you do see her butt,
But
more
her
side
all-
profiled. So like,
But if you think of the shots of her, like, especially her introductory ones, they're all, like, from the camera, like, panning from, like, feet first up, or from, like, a lower angle to highlight, you know, oh, look at her body that she's conveniently walking around the place. I don't know why I never really noticed it before. But it's like, you know, good for them to change the angle slightly so her butt isn't the most prominent thing. But it's, looking back on it, now playing it, it's weird how objectify, like how male gazy it is, to use a technical term. It was just like, oh, come on, guys. I don't need to ogle Miranda at all times with every single camera shot. Jesus Christ.
No, that's why we have
But,
gameplay.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, that's fine because that's your prerogative. That's you in control of the camera making that choice. But if the camera is like, oh, you're looking at Miranda's legs now, I'm like, I'm really not.
You know, there's an achievement for that in Lollipop Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, where it's like you can look
to try to look under her
Lollipop
skirt.
Chainsaw. Do you know who directed that game? Because I found out recently and it blew my mind.
I know it's some like famous person that directed, but I can't remember specifically who.
It's James Gunn,
right.
aka Mr.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad himself.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
So
I knew that it was someone like that, which, yeah.
So, as of time of recording, where is everybody at? How far are they into the Mass Effect trilogy so far? I'll start with me.
I am on oh sorry,
yeah. I've gotten Novaria done and side quests, that's about it. Because
So you haven't done Liara or Pharos?
No, I have gotten Liara. I haven't gotten Liara, I haven't gotten Pharos.
So you just haven't done Pharos?
Pharos and Vermeer, yeah. The reason why I haven't gotten further, because the 2 days off I requested, Safeway denied me one of them, and then the day before asked me to come in to work a 3 to midnight shift. So, yeah,
that is rough.
I have significantly had most of my Mass Effect time cut away from me, which I find is personally offensive.
Damn. If I had a message of my manager like, hey, we're understaffed or something like that, I just would have replied, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so Seeker, where are you at?
I am on Omega, just about to go pick up Garrus.
Garbear.
Or Archangel, I should say. Garbear.
I got Morden before Garrus. I didn't think you could. I thought you had to go talk to Arya, or before being able to start those missions. But no, you could just, like, then the guy's like, go talk to Arya. You could just go to the right and get Morden first.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
No, I suppose.
Alright, so
I think you get like specific dialogue or something if you just ignore Arya and go get them first.
And, well,
I think if you show up to talk to Arya with Garrus and Morden, I think there's an extra line.
I
of dialogue.
tried that. I couldn't find
It's just like,
one.
well, that was quick.
Like, although it was after the mission, but I did at one point just casually, while on Omega, bring Garrus and Morden together in the hope that Arya would say something unique, and she didn't.
Boo.
No, fair enough. I thought that was a thing that happened.
Well, there might be with cutscene-wise beforehand. I was just doing it, like,
Yeah.
this was afterward on, like, a casual through Omega, like, checking through all the stops, or shops. I was hoping that, you know, if I talk to Arya, and maybe she might have something like, the Archangel right in front of me, and then she just not care, be like, oh, well, you know, the gangs are dead, and I don't care, like, something like just her being a badass or something.
Yeah.
But, no, she doesn't say anything. Or nothing about Morden.
I can't remember if I
either.
brought this up to you before, but I love that Morden's voice actor is the same voice actor they got to play Dark Ark in the Spidey PS4 game.
Really?
It's like,
that's
stop
cool.
playing Mad Scientist Man! He's lovely, he really is.
The voice actor in Mass Effect 2
I
is
said
different.
mostly on the basis that he was very nice to me on Twitter.
Oh, that's good. But the voice actor from Mass Effect 2 is different than one with Mass Effect 3, right? There are two different Mordens.
Yes. The one who shatters your heart into a billion pieces is different than the one in ME2, but yeah.
Oh. Well, ME2's the one
I
that
forget
stole my
the
heart.
name of
ME3 is the one that broke it.
Uh-huh. ME3 be doing that. So so we can get an idea of how you guys play, who would you say your Shepard is?
Well, Tucker,
and
how
much
far did you get?
thought and care do you put into it?
Tucker,
So,
where'd you get to?
on the first day, for some reason, I don't know why, I come home from work on Thursday. Okay, so, well, no, I know why that. I come home from work because this is where I live. So, I don't know why, when I turned on the Xbox, on Thursday, Mass Effect Legendary Edition was available to play.
Yeah.
And I didn't change my time zone or anything. I was planning on doing that, admittedly. But I didn't need to. It was just unlocked. So I streamed this. I pretty much went for 8 or 9 hours, was feeling kind of sick just because I just must not have been feeling that well. Took like an hour or two nap, and then woke up, and then streamed again for another like 10, 11 hours, like just the entirety of Mass Effect 1. And I think I finished it Saturday morning, as in like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Jesus.
Or something. My time for Mass Effect 1 is 20 hours. And what was fun is the achievements on Xbox tell you percentage-wise of how many people that own this game, how many of them have these achievements. And when I was beating all the ones on Mass Effect 1, to which I beat Mass Effect 1 with all of the achievements, with the exception of beating it on Insanity. But, so, I got all the achievements in it as well.
Jesus.
But, the percentage was like 0.02%, and so on. And now, it is at, a percentage of people that had beaten Mass Effect 1 is at like 16%, 17%, something like that. But I am now also been streaming through to Mass Effect 2. I have gotten every squad mate minus Legion. I've completed almost every person's
Loyalty
mission. I am on tallies right now. I also am missing Mortons and Grunts and Samaras, and then Legions because I haven't gotten him. And I have completed Shadow Broker. I've completed Overload, and Firewalker.
Overload is the power.
Yeah. I keep getting those mixed up. But so yeah.
It's alright. It's a difference of one letter, so it's understandable.
I have chugged my way through that game. And if you're, let's see, what time is it right now? We've been recording for about 18 minutes. It comes out at, so what? It's about 9:15 in the morning or something for that. So in, I don't know, 6 hours maybe? No, 7 hours. I'm going to be streaming again. So people listening, if you're not doing anything, 7 hours, maybe come to hang out, come chill, be fun. But so yeah, going to be hopefully beating Mass Effect 2 tomorrow, like the Suicide mission and everything like that, because hopefully we'll be able to play some Mass Effect 2 tonight and finish up some of the loyalty missions.
See, that blows my mind, because like you have 20 hours. I have 18.2 hours into Mass Effect 1 so far, and I've not even halfway done through the game.
It really helps when you have the game memorized in your head.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Well, mine is burned into it from getting all the achievements and completing the game over and over and over and over. Like, I just know where to go for the side missions, what to do with all it. Like,
yeah, I do.
I was so relieved.
And I'm also playing on Veteran, I want to add as well.
Yeah.
I'm playing on, which I normally play on normal, but I decided to be a little bit more difficult, so I've been playing on Veteran as a Vanguard. And FemShep.
I was so relieved that I managed to stumble into finding all the keepers without looking up a guide.
So, Secret, what was the question that you were asking?
My question was, like, who's your shepherd in terms of, like, how much thought do you put into them in terms of, like, you know, do you customize their name? Obviously, you pick their class because that's just the thing you do. But in terms of, like, how much thought do you put into, like, the backstory, and what backgrounds do you pick?
I try to roll with how I would do things, although I'm now playing as FemShep, because I've typically just played as male shepherd soldier, but I wanted to play a bit differently, so I'm playing FemShep Vanguard, but I'm still Paragon because I can't do Renegade. Like, I'm an asshole.
It stresses me out too much to be mean to these people.
I know, like, I'm an asshole, and everyone who's listening to this and my mother knows that I am I can be a right ol' ass at times, but I try to do it in good heart. Like, I can't just do renegade stuff because there's like, oh, but like, I lost my wife and I need this help. It's like, oh, stop crying. It's like, no, dude, like, I get it. Like
that's just mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Except I still do some of the renegade interrupts because that's a bit different.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those are kind of fun.
So what's your service history and background for your femshep?
It is the one that lived on the streets.
Earthborn.
And
You got a war hero, soul survivor, and
War hero. Yeah, war hero.
I think war hero. I did
Is
something
the
on the
one
Blitz.
who's like, survived the Skillian Blitz.
Yeah, I did the Blitz because the other one sounded horrific. Like, I mean, I was really
like
looking at the
Butcher or
detail of
something.
the like Soul Survivor. I was like, damn, that one sounds harsh. Let's not do that.
It is. Tell you what's fucking rough is if you do colonist, soul survivor, and go in like that because it's rough. Because for one thing, I'll say for my shepherd, I do colonist and war hero just because that's how I like to balance it out. Because my shepherd does not like Batarians, as something of a like the one race that just gets under her skin and says like I don't like Batarians. But I just love in ME1. It's my favorite mission. I got choked up playing ME1. It was the most emotional I got playing.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you like getting
ME1.
choked. I was like,
Choked up. I'm trying to be serious with it for once, Tucker. I'm trying to not bring bondage into this. But the quest you get with Talitha, where's this girl who gets a hold of a gun who was a Batarian slave for 13 years because she was picked up on Mindwar, which you survived. And, you know, she was like 6 years old when she got taken and she's just completely beside herself and you can help her. And there's this lovely bit that, especially for femshep, because it gives me Newt vibes from Aliens, but if you femshep can like hug, well I said male shepherd can do it too, but shepherd can hug Talitha, and she asks, will she have bad dreams? He says, you'll dream of a warm place, and when you wake up you'll be in it. And it's just, I'm having feelings.
is that mission that is like, because there's some missions that appear depending on what your is that's
dependent on colonists.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get that if you didn't have the colonist one.
No, Earthborn, there's a guy who I think blackmails you. It's been a little while since I've played Earthborn. There's a guy who tries to blackmail you outside of Cora's den, I believe, and I've never done the Butcher one, so I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Brutal, yeah. Or it's like brutalist or brutal or something like that.
The Butcher of Torfan, I believe, is what the thing is.
I do like to have a certain amount of headcanons for my character. Mine,
yes.
I went with, I like to cut, like this one I kind of wanted to, I was on the fence if I wanted to do a different playthrough or if I wanted to do my canon playthrough. I decided to, I've kind of decided to go with, try to do a different playthrough. So I went with an infiltrator for mine. I went with Soul Survivor. That one's actually one of my favorites. It is brutal. The one thing, though, the amount of times that people bring up what happened on Aku's. Like, oh, I hear what happened. It's like, man, fucking Shepard.
Could you not bring that up?
Yeah, like, Shepard would be so triggered. And whenever I can say, hey, can you stop bringing that up, please? I fucking do it. Because
tell you what's even funnier is Ashley just going like, oh, how close are you with your family, Shepard? Oh, crap.
Yeah. I think I went...
They're all dead, Ash!
Yeah.
They're all fucking dead, okay?
Yeah, mine.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, I went with Spacer for mine because, like, I wanted to at least have family. That would be nice.
So you get to speak with your mum in
Yeah.
ME3.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah, but I do like having a certain amount of headcanon. Like, for example...
Do you have a custom name?
I do. I named mine Grayson. I don't know why.
So you're the only one rocking a bro chef at the moment?
Yeah, I think I'm the only bro chef at the moment.
A fun fact: I like giving my my PCs a sort of mythological name, and it worked out a bit too well when I played Fallout 3 for the first time, and I was just coming off my Greek mythology bent. And I was like, oh, I'll call my character Persephone, and not knowing anything about the game, and over the course of the story, I came out of the underworld, for lack of a better term, to restore water and spring to everyone. I was like, wow, I literally couldn't have made that character better if I tried.
Yeah,
but
spot on that one.
When I was thinking about who to name my shepherd, I was looking at names of Valkyries. Because I was just like, I think the Valkyries have names, and the Valkyrie of Mercy is Air, E-I-R, and so that's what I always call my shepherd, Air.
Nice.
Okay. I just went with Jane.
Yeah.
As you do.
I was like, they never call you by your name.
No.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
So I'm like,
for me, that's why I...
For my fem shep, I actually went with... she was an engineer, so I tried to research like famous engineer, female engineers, and so I named her after. I can't remember which one it was. I'll have to look onto my Xbox, but that's what I went with. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that.
So, one of the things that I kind of want to start with Mass Effect 1 and move on from there. The one thing though, one of the big thoughts, and you two are probably going to know this better than me. Did it feel like Mass Effect 1 was way too easy?
I mean, you mean difficulty-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, yes. There's actually a thing with... Wait, I might be getting Mass Effect 2 and Halo 2 mixed up.
Yeah.
But one of those games, like a few days or something before the game came out, a developer was like, I'm just going to ramp up the difficulty, just bump the number up.
Yeah.
I can't remember which game it was, but it was one of those.
I
think
heard
it's Mass Effect 2.
I haven't heard it. If anyone knows the answer to this, then by all means shoot it at us at on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter or Discord would be a good way. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh my god,
I don't know. It never occurred to me. Mostly because I find ME1 to be a complete slog. So the fact that I was breezing through the combat was, and also like because I'm playing an adept, so throwing pulls and lifts and singularities and stuff is just so much fun inherently. That I was having no. I was like, I have no complaints. I'm a biotic god. But that's not how I was going through everything. So I have no complaints about it being easy.
Well, it kind of surprised me because like some of it is like, I've played multiple playthroughs of the entire series. I'm all familiar with it. I'm playing on PC. I have really good. I have a good gaming PC. And it's remastered. It's been rebalanced and stuff like that. I'm just surprised, like, because I'm playing it on normal, and I almost feel like I need to, like, I want to play through it on normal all the way through just to see if it's consistent or not. But holy crap, playing through, just playing through the whole game, it's been such a breeze. It's just like, wow, this is a little too easy. Damn. And the other.
I also think it has something to do with the weapons.
Yeah,
a bit
the weapons.
Just like near the end of Mass Effect 1, or I would say maybe like 3, like 2/3 or something like that. At that point I had an assault rifle that couldn't overheat and just melted through people, and I was playing on veteran, and it was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then I also would Vanguard and just launch people up into the air.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing Infiltrator, and it's like with Assassination, it's just like, pop, pop, headshot, down,
Yeah.
pop, pop, down, pop, pop, down, pop, pop, down. And it's just like, it's not like Infiltrator's, like, it's not like Engineer, Adept, like some of the really OP classes, where it's like, I would expect that with that. Infiltrator, to me, doesn't sound like one of the most overpowered classes. You know, and
Tell you my experience with Infiltrator, because my previous canon Shep was an Infiltrator. So people were always saying to me, like, oh, you gotta let Garrus win on his little shooting competition on the Citadel. I was like,
No.
fuck that, I'm an Infiltrator! This is my reputation on the line. I'm Commander fucking Shepard! And, but yeah, everyone else is just like, oh, let him win. I'm like, no.
I feel like the logic for my
Sorry, bud, but
yeah,
no.
I feel like the logic for my character is Garrus knows for a fact that I would miss on purpose because I could make that shot. They know Garrus would know deep down, like, he let me win or she let me win.
Yeah.
Another thing though that kind of got me with Mass Effect 1 was how fast you leveled up in that game. Like, I would do
they changed the level. They
Yeah.
very much changed the leveling system in the first game, or in the original game and the remaster.
Well, I know that. I know it's from the
But
level
even
1
so,
through...
it's fucking quick.
Yeah, like, it's 1 through 30. I'm aware of that. But it's like, I'm 18 hours into the game, and I'm nearly level 20. And I'm, what, 4 or 5, at least, there's what, Pharos, Vermeer, 2 or 3 other main storyline missions after that.
Yeah, but it sounds like you've been doing a lot of the side missions and doing a lot of that stuff. So it's like...
The Legendary Edition has also answered a question for me. I always wondered, if the Mako was less shit, would I like it more? And the answer is, no, I don't! I hate the Mako! I hate the maps! I hate getting stuck in it! I hate it!
I think it's still...
And again, I streamed all of me playing Mass Effect 1. I had so much fun with the Mako.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a joy.
Good for you. I still hate it.
Well,
mostly because I was just at a point where, because what I want to get to is ME2, but I want to have like all the stuff I want to carry over into ME2 is what I want to keep. So I'm slogging through ME1, like there were bits I vibed with. I'm not saying the whole thing was bad, but just there's some parts of it where I'm just like, oh, I just want to get to the top of this fucking mountain so I can get this fucking Geth outpost, so I can get Tally her fucking Dota, and it's like, it's just driving me nuts.
The boost is supposed to help.
It's supposed to help. It does not in practice.
I disagree.
It does.
Not when you're trying to get up a cliff,
Okay.
or that's pretty much sheer.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
like,
if it's sheer...
Another 2 inches, and I'm up this cliff, and it will not fucking work.
If you have some off-roading experience, don't go up...
Well, I don't!
Yeah, there's your problem right there.
The reason why is because Scott and I show our Mako love.
No.
I don't think that's it. I don't...
No,
I will
could
sit there and pet my Mako afterward. After my Mako does a barrel roll off of a mountain and no-scope a Geth that is hiding in a building like 500 yards away, and I'll pet it afterward like, good girl, like, absolutely.
That is 100%.
I do find it
I
hilarious
do not do
that
that.
the one thing...
Tucker to...
I do find it hilarious that the one thing that can kill a Mako is being yeeted through a mass relay halfway across the galaxy and being slammed into the Citadel, killing multiple Geth in the process.
Mako, you fly that thing off a mountain and it'll touch the ground, but it'll make no noise or anything. It's just a soft little... I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Oh, yeah.
We all know that Shepard is the best Spectre. However, I really don't think Shepard should be allowed a driver's license. I really don't.
Fair.
There's always been a competition thing of Shepard versus Master Chief, and like there's good argument for both sides. Although Master Chief would win with that.
Agreed.
He's an augmented but I mean the
Singularity.
No.
Done.
The Mako versus Warthog the Mako would win.
Oh god.
Every bit of that.
Well, it's also contained, so you kind of at a disadvantage in a Warthog.
If you drive the Warthog, if you like hit a rock or something, the Warthog can actually flip. I was over 90 degrees with the Mako. Pretty much the barrel of my gun was kissing the ground, and still it just righted itself up like no issue at all.
You know, the
Mako
will win because it has shields.
And it also can shoot.
Warthogs don't.
Can shoot wherever you can shoot wherever. You don't have to have the barrel actually be able to aim. You can basically shoot directly straight down while on top of a mountain as long as your reticle is pointed there. The Mako is just such a field day. The Hammerhead in Mass Effect 2, because the Firewalker, like, yeah, it's fun. I like the jump with it, but it's no Mako.
Yeah.
There's only one true babe.
Yeah. I think you still get the jinkiness and like the squirreliness of the Mako for sure, but man, it is...
I couldn't find how to put the old controls on. I looked through all the menus.
I'm not going to tell you because I know how to do it because I found it, but I'm not going to tell you because spite.
The secret.
Wow.
The sacred text.
You said not less than like half an hour ago that you were fueled on spite. And I say I'm doing this action out of spite, and you're like, whoa!
Oh, I like to think I'm fueled by our love and friendship.
No, I'm fueled by spite from other things, like from work. Not from you guys. No, you guys bring me joy in my life.
Ah. Betty. Is there any part of the like, especially like for ME1, because we're all like fairly well versed, that's hitting you differently? Because there were a lot of things that I was the most notable things were like the two characters that hit me differently by quite a margin were Ashley and Garrus, and I realized I hate Ashley a lot more than I thought I did. And Garrus, just because of his cowboy cop tendencies, I'm like, dude, you can't just, beat up suspects and kill people. You're, it's just like,
I did notice that too, where it's just like I kind of had to like Garrus tone down the murder boner, just like.
It's like calm the fuck down.
There are people out there who definitely deserve it. But like, hold on, down, boy, down.
There is
the fact that when you have to like justify, like when Dr. Hart dies, it's fucking hilarious. If you have like a dumbass shepherd, where you say I'm gonna take you in, and then he dies anyway, and Garrus says, "Well, what was the point of that then? He died anyway," and you go, "Well, I guess you're right."
Yeah, fair.
There is one mission that I have, as a side mission on the Citadel, I have completely 180'd, and it's the Hanar, the preaching Hanar.
Mm-hmm.
So I originally was always 100% on the Hanar side of let him preach, let him say his religion. He's not hurting anyone. He's not doing anything like that. And then when I was going through the mission with this, and the guy, he goes like, I just want a permit. Like, I don't care what he says. He just needs to have a permit. And the Hanar, his explanation for it is like, this one shouldn't need a permit to speak the truth. And I'm like, oh, okay.
No. Go get your permit, mister, right now.
And after living in Seattle and stuff, and like, encountering some of these people, it's just like, oh, it's just different. And so, like, I still went and I bought him the permit and I gave him the permit and all that stuff. But it was definitely different because I was like,
I knew I could do that, but I forgot how to, so I just told him to go away.
Actually, I encountered a bug in the game. I have found quite a few bugs, but like one of them, I crashed the game when I killed an enemy in Mass Effect 2. I killed an enemy, he killed me at the same time, and it was, I'm guessing, supposed to start like a cutscene or something. Completely just crashed the game. But
as you do.
Yeah. Shit. What was it? I just lost my train of thought. But I knew it was a bug.
What hits different? Street
the hand art.
pictures.
So
yeah.
I knew that mission was coming up, and I preemptively went into the store and bought it. Then I went and tried talking to the Hanar. I couldn't give him the
permit?
The license.
The license. The permit I could not give it to him. I had to go back to the store, open it, and I looked, and it wasn't there. Like, I bought it, but I just had to reopen the store and then go and interact with him then.
Initiate the dialogue, yeah.
See, what you should have done is use that license to preach about the Reapers are coming, and then there was nothing they could have done about
Run
it.
me alive! I do want to stress my opinion of Ashley, just to explain it. It's not just the space racist thing, because I was
Space
before I was like,
racist?
oh yeah, I don't like Ashley because she's a space racist, but oh god, there's just about 6 different levels of dislike for Ashley that I didn't realize I had before.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, her story about her sister weirds me out for so many reasons, where she's like, oh yeah, my sister was dating this guy, and he was being kind of pushy about them having sex, and then she has this line where it's like, oh, but if he wasn't being pushy, I'd be thinking that I'd be worried he thought she was ugly or something. I'm like, well, that's a weird way to do this. Why would you say that?
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you
and
don't.
Then they went into the woods or something together. She threw him into a tree, and it's like, and then he tried to hit her, and then she beat the shit out of it. I'm like, what the fuck is this story? Why is this here? What is this telling me about your character? And it's like, okay, yeah, she's close to the family, but like, this is the weirdest way to illustrate this I've ever fucking seen. And
there's also some
yes, she's a space racist. She's so aggressive to Liara in, like, you know, the when you do the plot missions.
Oh yeah.
And you do the regroup. If Liara so much to suggest anything, Ashley comes down so fucking aggressively on her. And then when Liara does join up, Ashley's like, oh, should I ask her about her sex life? And I'm like, fucking no!
Oh yeah, no, I just kind of tossed Ashley on Vermeer.
Yeah, but Ashley dies on Vermeer. I mean, you know, Caden is Baden. This is
we actually did have her on the Normandy. Shepard just took this opportunity to just kind of like kick.
Yeah. Shh. No one will know. Tie her to the bomb.
Tie her to the bomb. She's down there.
Where it happened, the room where it happened.
Yep.
Yeah. No, for me, my version, what stood out to me the most, this replaying the game, is realizing that Shepard really isn't just like he's not a character like you see on like the Elder Scrolls games, where they're a fully customizable character. They're very much a blank slate. It's interesting because I very much realize that no, Shepard is his own character. Like, he has more flexibility than, like, I compare him to, like, Geralt of Rivia, who like, he's a very established character, and a lot of it is just more like, do you make him, is he sassy Geralt or is he stoic Geralt, you know? And that's a lot of your dialogue choices. And I realized that very much, like, Shepard is their own character.
Especially by the time ME2 rolls around. What also stood out to me in ME1 was it goes to show that ME1 was so much of a trendsetter that this, at the time, was some of the most realistic dialogue in games we have, and it really fucking shows. Because they were still at a point where the actors weren't hearing the other person's lines before them. So sometimes you're having a conversation and the tone is wildly off between two actors, because it's not their fault because they can't hear the other person. They're just doing this in a vacuum. Yeah. Can be wildly off. And also the way that, especially in the beginning on the Normandy, when they're talking about there's something weird about this shakedown run that we've been told we're on, and Spectres are trouble, and Nihilus is a Turian, because they really, really, really want you to know these 3 things, and everyone on that fucking ship will come up to you and just be like, well, Nihilus is a Turian, especially Navigator Presley, because it's also that thing of they clearly want people to know these bits of information.
It's kind of
but
funny.
if you exhaust all the dialogue options, it sounds almost as if like Presley's having a senior moment, because he's just bringing up this shit like, well, I fucking hate Turians. It's like, well, that's the 3rd time you've said that, Presley. Thanks very much.
There's
I
another.
was like, this is the best we had about 10 years ago.
Another funny thing is like Shepard, because the first game is obviously the first time the player is being introduced to the Mass Effect world, so when they hear like what is a Turian or what are Protheans or what's all this stuff or what's Eden Prime, it's like they'll explain.
And the best way to tell this is for exposition.
Yeah, they'll explain to Shepard, but the way they explain to him is like, okay, Shepard is an adult. And
part of the universe, so yeah, it's so weird.
How does he? And then it'll be weird because he'll ask like, "What's Eden Prime?" And he'll be like, "Oh, this was the first planet that we went on," or something like that. And then when he talks to,
what's a Turian?
Yeah, he talks to.
You should know this. Why don't you know this?
Yeah, you fought them, or
we went to war with these guys.
It's
And
very
everyone
interesting.
just has like
there's
the
another-
history of the world and an encyclopedia in their fucking back pocket. We're just like, here.
And there's another one too. I brought Rex with me on Novaria, and because I thought it'd be fun to have a Krogan with Arachni, and when we first encounter the Arachni, Rex even goes like, I don't know what those are or anything, but then
Like,
later on, when you're talking to the Queen, he's like, these things have slaughtered millions of my people. I'm like, motherfucker, you had no idea who these people were like 5 minutes ago. Don't give me that shit.
Well, he eventually, you do find out it's the Rachni. Right.
Yeah,
But he, like, didn't Rex actually fight in the Arachni Wars?
I think he was born right.
He was either just after, you know. There's no way, conceivable way, he shouldn't know what Arachni looks like.
I mean,
it's just really interesting.
I mean,
some
it's
of that
not.
stuff.
I mean, it's not completely unfeasible. Like, he's definitely old enough that he may have like actually seen images of it or something. But there's also a difference between seeing images of it and then being like seeing it for the first time in your face. Also, it's
Yeah, but like
I don't know. If a
also
T-Rex were to walk by in front of me, even though I've only seen pictures of it, I think I'd recognize a T-Rex.
Yeah, except
I'm gonna have a look at Rex's back page, because if he did fight in the Arachni Wars, then
Unless the T-Rex is like fully
absolutely
feathered.
inexcusable.
Like we don't know if they were feathered or anything like that.
yeah. Well, there's also a little bit of a difference of like, you know, I think there's also a little bit of you're in combat, you're in a fight, that part of your brain ain't gonna be working very good, so you're probably, you know, you're not gonna, you know, that's one of those things where you would know afterwards, but like while you're in the middle of the fight, yeah, no, you're not gonna think about that type of stuff at all, you know.
But something that was really enjoyable was the Mass Effect, that Genesis comic. Going from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. The game asks, like, oh, do you want to see this comic? I highly recommend you click yes on that. Even if you, like I binged 20-something hours of Mass Effect 1, and I still watched that comic. Oh my god, that thing was 1,000 times better than I expected. I thought it was like a 5-minute little short comic thing. It's like a 20-minit episode of what you did in Mass Effect 1 in these incredibly stylized like, it is awesome. I absolutely recommend it. And I'm really excited because apparently there's one from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3.
Ooh.
So, like, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, because I remember the Genesis comics were in the original, the original.
And it was
games.
meant to be because the original game didn't come out on PlayStation, so it was for people going into Mass Effect 2 on PlayStation to be able to make choices that could have an impact or have a different bit of a story. So it doesn't have much worth in the remaster, although at the end of Mass Effect 1, with Udina and Anderson, because I know if you pick Anderson, he leaves and it becomes Udina anyways. So I didn't want to do that to my homeboy. But I didn't want to pick Udina because he's a dick. So I picked the option. I was like, oh well, I don't want to give my option. But then in the Genesis, it makes you choose between them.
Yeah.
So I picked Udina.
I made peace a long time ago that is like, well, Adina is the counselor in the future, so it might as well be by my hand.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that to Captain Anderson.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that to Anderson.
You with politics and shit, so yeah.
But I also didn't.
He kind of does that anyway.
Udina to have my backing.
Yeah, he's a dick, but yeah. So this is the guy you have at the moment.
But that comic's been incredible. But something I haven't talked about actually is the graphics, the visual updates.
It looks pretty.
It looks stunning.
Oh yeah, for sure. The textures is what I've noticed most, especially on like the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they still don't quite have the eye movement right.
Not quite,
the
but
animations.
the
animations
the
are
eyes
very
look
moving
beautiful,
from
though.
top up and kind of staying still on the bottom. Like when they're upset, they'll lean forward and like shake their hand.
Shoulder joints are still very weird.
Yeah,
if they move in a way that isn't normal.
For
like,
lack of better terms, it's rigid.
The bit that always makes me chuckle is when you have the scene where Shepard's kind of frustrated at being grounded and sort of slumps near the lockers and talks to, Ashley, Caden, or Liara. Because there's a bit where whoever that is pulls you up and the shoulders look so weird. They tried to hide it. It was like, no, there's some very wonky shit going on with that shoulder.
I think the one thing though, when you're driving around in the Mako, like the textures on the planets, they look so much better.
Oh, the little pie jacks look so cute.
Oh yeah.
Like, I can't bear to kill the pie jacks. I'm like, yes, I'll search every one of these little bastard things to find this module, because I don't have to kill them.
Yeah, I think all the times I've accidentally ended up killing one, then it's like, well, already killed one.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it by accident, then fuck it,
Well, I mean,
might
there's
as well
a bit of a difference.
Might as well do a genocide.
Getting like half of them or something like that.
Yeah, I think you still get renegade points, but either way, it's just
But
I try not to.
Something that is interesting. So again, with the achievements, they do tell the percentage of them. So right now, 100% of people have completed Eden Prime.
Yes.
But from there, 96% have become a Spectre. So there's like
Wow,
there's a drop off.
Yeah.
a little bit. And then from that 96% that becomes a Spectre, 66% have found Liara.
Whoa.
So there's
some
a
people
major
also are
drop.
working and stuff. So
And
yeah.
completing
my
Pharos.
other half is desperate to play Mass Effect, but he wants to really like settle into it. And every single time he tries, our kid is just like, "Ooh, pay attention to me." So yeah, he's trying his best.
Completing Pharos and completing Novaria are both at 37%. So Liara's at 66, and then it drops to 37.
Yeah.
And then Vermeer's at 22.
Yeah.
I just had a look at Steam, and completing the game on any difficulty is at 9.4. Only 6.8 have a romantic relationship.
It is 16.7 on Xbox. However, completing the majority of the game is at 10%, which means the side missions and things like that. So you can see that about let's see, 16% have completed the game, and 18% have finished the beginning of Mass Effect 2. That means more people have started Mass Effect 2 than have completed Mass Effect 1 in the remaster.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Yeah,
Really?
that doesn't. People really like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mass Effect 1 is where... Well, I guess it's finishing it. Because I was going to say, this whole thing is about Mass Effect 1 and the updates with it.
What is this?
Tell you what, I feel, because with ME1, overwhelmingly, like, the music was getting me, seeing, the Asari and the Turians and the Normandy and the Citadel, that was getting me, and Shepard and everything. However, the individual story beats like Venezia and Saren and, that bit, I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, just it didn't really inspire any emotion in me. But literally firing up ME2, I was like, oh, I'm home now. This is where I should be. This is how this
Yeah,
looks.
that's the one thing I'm kind of looking forward to is, like, Mass Effect 1 is, I've always seen it as a little bit of a slog to get through. But, like, you get into Mass Effect 2, and it just feels right.
It sings.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything just works.
Especially because I've been
And not to
completely
say that it
binging
doesn't have any bugs. No, not to say that it doesn't have any bugs, but it's just like everything comes together more cohesively.
Oh, for sure.
I feel.
And because, like, I've been binging it, a lot of the story stuff is hitting more. It's going through. But 0.9% of people have finished Mass Effect 2. 0.7% kept everyone alive. So there is a 0.2 difference of people that have lost a person.
That's the one thing I'm curious on is how much they've changed, how difficult it is to get through the suicide mission with everyone alive. And especially, like, they said it was more difficult to get through Mass Effect 3 and get the
they
better
said
ending.
if you,
Which I don't know how much I believe.
It's hard. They said it's if you do, like, if you lose everyone you can across the series, like, basically if you go out of your way to lose people, then it's very, very hard to get maximum readiness.
Well,
by
no,
the
I think
time ME3 rolls around. I think that was how they phrased it.
Well, no, I think it
I
is
could be
more
wrong.
challenging, just simply on the fact that there's no multiplayer, so there's no points from multiplayer being tacked on. Instead of it being a 50-50 of campaign and multiplayer, it is 100 campaign. So your effects on what you're doing in the campaign have more of an impact because you're going on a scale from 0 to 100 rather than 0 to 50.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
That is the best development explanation that I saw of it.
I think the one thing as well, because, like, I remember, like, I was seeing on TikTok, like, oh, the Geth and the Quarian, to get both of them isn't so hard and impossible, and I looked at it, like, oh, the requirements to do it for Melee, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I do that literally every playthrough. Like, it's like, you have to get the Geth fighters, you have to save the fleet, the Quarian fleet.
It's like, oh, the shit I do everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
You know you can have Mordin survive Mass Effect 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know.
But you have to do some
He's not very happy about it.
crazy shit.
Yeah, you gotta sell your soul to the devil, practically.
You have to have Rex die in Mass Effect 1. You have to destroy the data
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2, and then, like...
Essentially, you have to show that there is no hope for... Like, there is no future for the Krogan.
Yeah. So I also think then part of that may be to not open Grunt's VAT. I think that may also be a factor then.
I don't think, I don't
Maybe.
think that factors into it. But yeah, it's rough. Speaking of Mass Effect stuff, who watched the reunion?
I
did not. I was at
totally
work.
spaced about it. Shit.
It's alright. I will tell you. You should both absolutely, if anything, just leave it running in the background whilst you're doing stuff, and It's incredibly sweet to listen to. The whole cast is great. And at some point they read lines that they have, which is also incredibly sweet. It's just they all get just very sentimental about the franchise and how much they love it and how much it means to people and how great it is to come back. And I swear to God that Jennifer Hale and Mark Meir took turns. They alternated reading Shepard's final speech.
Mm-hmm.
And I got chills. I was just like, yeah. I'm all fired up to play Mass Effect, and it's so
that's
great.
awesome.
They're all just so sweet. And the thing that made me laugh was Keith Fairley, who voices Thane, because when he's using his normal speaking voice, I was like, oh, that's a dude speaking. He doesn't have that kind of rasp that Thane has, which I thought was just, an artificial thing that they put on his voice, and then he can just do that. Holy crap! It's like, I know they're voice actors, but sometimes there's a difference between.
There's a talent you're not expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
I know one thing that I've always found is interesting. I remember hearing a while ago that Jennifer Hale isn't that big about the Mass Effect franchises. She doesn't really care about it.
bullshit.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But it's interesting because I remember actually seeing her explain it, and she's like, "No, the reason why I don't revisit the franchises that I work is because I can't sit there and enjoy it. I go, oh no, see if I knew this part of it, like if I knew what this person looked like this, I would have done this, and like, oh, that's the full context of the scene. Well, god damn it, if they would have done that, then I would have changed it." And she's like, I just can't do that. And she can't do that with any of her.
Did you notice that she's also the voice of the Normandy?
You mean
Because it
Edie?
was only... No, not Edie, no, that's Trisha Helfer. When, in ME1, when you have a...
docking?
Oh,
or-
Yeah, the docking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I noticed that.
Decontamination in progress. I was like, as soon as she said progress, I was like, that's Jennifer Hale.
Well,
I'm the voice of the
it's-
ship.
It's not uncommon for companies to have their voice actors just toss
am
in
aware.
side lines like that.
Oh, you mean Mark Meir, who literally voices every single Vorcha?
Yeah.
And Hannah. And Volus, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and there's other game series that do it too, and it's just not, because, like, you have them there, and you're spending the money on them.
You might as
may
well.
as well.
You might as well have them.
Hey,
yeah.
say, like, we have this page.
You book them by the hour, so you might as well just be like, well, we got some leftover.
Yeah, we got a
bit
page
parts we're
here.
gonna
Can
scatter
you-
through the game, yeah.
Say this for an hour? Here you go.
Yeah. That was another thing that made me laugh in the reunion bit was Patrick Weeks saying that they're basically one of those people that if someone puts Groucho Marx glasses on, they lose the ability to recognize that person. And they said, I guess that's what I'm like vocally as well, because Alex Walton Regan, who is Samantha Trainer and the female Inquisitor in
Inquisition.
and in Dragon Age, she was doing an American accent for one of the Alliance Marines in 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, oh, who's that? No, it's Alex, you lunatic. Like, you've heard her voice a million times. How do you not know what Alex sounds like? But yeah, it's great.
So, are you guys going to keep the fish alive? In Mass
I'm
Effect?
trying. I mean, I've shagged Kelly already, so yeah, someone's got to look after the fish. I will take that on the chin to shag Kelly.
Oh
Can
no,
you
I have
romance-
to bang a gorgeous redhead. Damn.
Wait,
Yeah.
Can you romance
Who
her
looks
and
weird-
romance another
Yes,
person?
she doesn't, quote, doesn't count as a romance, which is so...
I
like,
didn't romance her because of that. I thought that it did count, because I'm going
No,
for
it
Thane.
doesn't count. No.
Nope.
With my femshep, I'm going for Thane, because I can't go for
I
Tally.
love Thane. I was debating... Because I romanced Caden through the first one, because I was thinking, like, because you basically, for me, I have to decide, am I doing Caden for the first one or Liara for the whole thing. And I was just like, I think I'll do Caden for the first one, for at least this run. And I have to decide, okay, am I going to be loyal to Caden throughout the entire franchise, or am I going to dip into Thane, and then after Thane dies, get back with Caden? And, I was just thinking it through, and I swear to Christ, outside of, like, Jack or Zaid or Javik, Caden is one of the most tragic characters in Mass Effect.
Every
I will justify
character
this.
in Mass Effect 2 has daddy issues.
Everyone in the franchise, the races have daddy issues. Everyone has fucking daddy issues. It is the core conceit of the entire franchise. But just Caden in particular, just let me get this out of my system. So, as part of his backstory, he was infected with Ezo, develops biotic powers that his species didn't understand, so he was shipped as a kid off to some space station where he was tormented and abused by this shit of a Turian, and he then fell in love with this girl. He then watched her get her arm broken by this Turian, and the one time in his life that he lost control, when the guy pulled a knife on him, he did a biotic kick and he killed the guy. And then the girl he was in love with didn't want to talk to him anymore because she was scared of him. So he then had a resolve to basically never lose control again. So that's why he's always that reserved. So still very passionate person, but he never loses his control because he knows there's too much at stake if he does. He then falls in love with his superior. Because bear in mind, it's canon that pretty much no matter, if you don't kill Caden, he is in love with Shepard. That's just kind of what it is. If Shepard is male, he doesn't tell Shepard this.
Ooh.
If you're female, you get a chance to romance him. He then, when the Normandy blows up, because your helmets are synced, he not only watches Shepard suffocate to death and die, he hears it. Which is fucked up in so many ways. Spends 2 years grieving, and there's that letter you get where he says, like, oh, I tried to go on a date with someone, and, just to try and have a life again.
What happens on Horizon if you romance them?
Yeah. I know, I'm saying you get that after the Horizon. I'm saying that's what he says. So, and then he sees the woman he was in love with, who he's been grieving for 2 years, is with Cerberus. And he's just like, I don't know what to do with this. And then the Reapers invade Earth. Oh, and at the end of ME1, they get the fake out thing where he thinks Shepard is dead as well before that. So he's witnessed Shepard die twice now.
Not just
as
that,
far as he's concerned.
Also he was rescued instead of another person. Like,
yeah, exactly. And so you've got survivor's guilt on top of that. Then the Reapers invade Earth, and then he gets off of Earth, so more survivor's guilt. Over the course of that, he loses. His dad is then MIA, which is just dead. You can infer that his dad died. If he reconnects with Shepard, he still has to have an armed standoff against Shepard. If he falls back in love with Shepard, like, they both do, he then has to watch Shepard die again! And this time for good! For the sake of the whole galaxy! It's just like, oh my god, this guy's life is awful! And what are the alternatives? The alternatives are like, oh yeah, I either never told you I was in love with you, and I had to watch you love someone else from afar and never say anything.
And then all that stuff all over again.
I was nuked. Yeah. He's like, or I was nuked. That is the extent of his life.
I mean, on the bright side, at least he doesn't feel much with the nuke,
Yeah, when I was playing as FemShep, and I was trying to romance Liara, they were like, oh, is there... I thought there's something going on between you and Caden.
So aggressive with him.
Yeah. And I was like, nah.
Yeah, I will say though, I was originally planning on romancing Miranda because she's my favorite romance of the series, but I need to romance. I realize I should romance Tally. I need that Cinnabon romance in my life right now. I need the Cinnabon. And that's what Tally
Tell you what,
is.
if you want an entirely wholesome, you're playing Mel Shep, but you want like a sweet romance, Trainer. I don't think there's a sweeter romance than Trainer.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it just that bit where she says, "Oh, when you get back, we'll get the house with the white picket fence," and if and then she follows it up with, "I'm joking, of course," and if Shepard says, "No, actually, that sounds really good," she's like, "Good, because I wasn't joking. I want some kind of retriever, 2 kids, white picket fence, and maybe a cat."
I thought you didn't.
I'm getting feels, Samantha.
But my hope is to get all the achievements in one playthrough, pretty much. So, would need to do a perfect run through Mass Effect. Like, have romances in all 3. Bring all war assets at the end. Have everyone survive the suicide mission. Like...
Yeah, I will say, as far as like Gareth hitting differently with me, I do like him a lot better when he's not a cop. The second he's not a cop, I like him a lot more.
Fair.
I don't know why that's a thing with me in my romances. It's like in Cyberpunk, one of my favorite romances was River Ward. Maybe I may have been influenced because he's the same voice actor as Akechi from Persona 5, which is a whole different kettle of fish. But he was a cop and then he quits being a cop, so I was like, hooray! I feel far less guilty about shagging you. And then and then after the romance scene, Johnny Silverhand's just like, I can't believe you made me fuck a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so great.
What did you guys think of the Keepers in Mass Effect 1?
They exist.
They look cool.
I was
I love
furious
them.
that
I'm
they
so
didn't
excited.
have a tracking thing of like which keepers you had scanned on the map. Because I was like, that would have been so easy to implement, but fine,
So,
I guess.
why are the Keepers still on the Citadel after Mass Effect 1?
I know, right? I was like, you let those
We
things...
know they are working with the Reapers. Not only is it told to us by the
Explicitly.
the VI, but Chorban also tells us that if you complete his mission in Mass Effect 1, in Mass Effect 2 you get an email that's like, they're made by the same thing that Sovereign. Like, so even he's recognized too. It's like, why are we still letting
I'm gonna answer
him...
this really quickly. Remember the council said the Reapers don't exist? That's probably why.
And also, I think it's just that thing of no one... that's the other thing that fucking baffles me about the Mass Effect universe. It's like, say one day you stumble upon this entire space station and you just move in, and there's this whole race of things that you don't understand and you can't scan and you can't, examine or dissect because they just self-destruct. And you don't find this suspicious that it just is this giant space station that's a technological marvel that wouldn't be abandoned by, anything, is just sat out there. And no one knows what to do with it except to just leave it to these things that have all these, built-in defense mechanisms, and they only know how to, just keep the whole thing running. It's so weird!
Well...
why would you do this?
There
Who thought
have
this was a good
been
idea?
times in history where a race or group of people or something like that go to find new land with zero regard of the population that is already there.
I am aware, but it's just the whole notion of, there was this space station that was just sat here and we decided to make it our, home base. It's just like... the fuck? Also, speaking of things hitting slightly differently, Tally talking about the Geth in ME1. Oh my goodness. I remember playing ME1 at the first stuff. I was like, oh yeah, they're robots, I guess if robots turned evil, you blow them up. The way she talks about it, just like, oh yeah, they were cheap labor. We all know what that's code for. It's like, oh, we programmed them to be individuals. It's like, did you now? And then the second one of them said, like, it started expressing, you know, autonomous thought and started asking questions we found uncomfortable. We decided to kill them all. Like, Sally!
I mean, honestly,
Sally!
I kind of think that may be still the better decision. But
I mean, there's also a lot.
It's trying to get her to concede that, like, no, you shouldn't. Like, the Geth just reacted to what you taught them. Because you taught them that, you responded with violence.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the Frankenstein monster
the Geth daddy
thing.
issues are the Quarians.
I think I'm gonna.
It's the whole Frankenstein thing.
I think I want to save this conversation for another episode because
when you actually finally get to Mass Effect 2.
Oh, fuck off! I work 40 hours a week.
God, loser.
Right. Definitely don't feel like a winner when I work. Anyway, moving on. Because I have my own thoughts on the whole Geth and Quarian thing.
Which is structured like all the hot tea takes of Mass Effect.
Yeah, like, hi, we're gonna do all the controversial things at once because we're a glutton for punishment. Yeah,
Yay.
Like, I want to get into it, but it's like I have my.
We'll save it.
Yeah, I very much have my own opinions of the Quarians and Geth and how that whole thing goes.
But
I will
we
say
would
that
love to know all of y'all's opinions in the comments
tell us your
down
opinions.
below and in the Discord channel
And
that we
tweet
have.
at us. I like being tweeted at.
Yeah, no,
I'm always surprised when someone tweets at me.
we have Twitter accounts that should be in the description down below, as well as a link to our Discord channel, which has been growing. As well as to the Twitch channel, which hopefully on today, being Wednesday, I'm going to finish the suicide mission with everyone alive, and then start up Mass Effect 3. So
Woo.
come join. See if we can get everyone.
No word of a lie. It's 2:10 in the morning for me, and I'm genuinely fighting the desire to just switch on Mass Effect 2 and play some more Mass Effect 2.
No,
bad. Do it. Do it.
No,
do it. You skip a day of sleeping.
Bad.
It's fine.
Bad, Tucker.
No, it's fine.
No.
It's fine.
No.
It's
No.
like you can. I mean, doesn't your
Considering all I've got to do today, later today, is take my kid into school, drop her off,
see,
and then come
all
home.
you need to do?
Seeker, you need to sleep.
You can treat yourself to this Mass Effect 2. When was the last time you played through Mass Effect 2 in this manner?
I never.
Because you need to treat
last
yourself.
time I played Mass 2, it was on my Xbox, which I now no longer own. So this is the first time I'm playing the trilogy through on my PC.
Tucker, stop enabling her. She needs to sleep, for fuck's sake.
Tucker, you are a bad influence.
Well, it's more fun that way.
Damn it,
It's
Tucker.
like, that's your job.
Tucker,
Your
you
entire
need to let her
designation.
sleep. It's a miracle that she even wants to come talk to us at 2 a.m.
I know. I'm still surprised having girls talk to me. But that is all that we got here for Accidentally Casual. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember to subscribe and do all that to catch up later podcasts and other videos.
Alright, we'll see you next time, guys.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Excellent. I will get my clerical VI to add it to our advertising immediately.